Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Daily English Podcast. I'm James, your host for today.
And I'm Emily. So glad you could join us. We're here to help you practice and enjoy English in a real friendly way.
That's right, Emily. And today we're talking about something a bit deep, maybe even a bit mysterious.
Oh, yes. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to just leave everything behind and disappear? I mean, just walk away from your job, your home, your routine, and start a new life somewhere else. Or even just take a long break from everything.
Yeah, it's a fascinating idea. I think almost everyone has had that thought at least once. Maybe after a long day at work or when life just feels a bit too much.
Exactly. It might sound dramatic, but for some people, it's just a small fantasy. For others, it becomes a real desire or even a plan.
So today we're going to talk about this feeling, the desire to leave everything behind and disappear. What does it mean? Why do people feel this way? And what can we learn from this idea?
And don't worry, it's not just a sad topic. We'll share stories, tips, and even some surprising facts. And as always, we'll explain the vocabulary and expressions you'll hear.
Let's start by sharing our own experiences. Emily, have you ever wanted to just disappear for a while?
Let me think. Actually, yes. There were times when I felt really tired or overwhelmed, especially during university exams. I used to imagine myself on a quiet beach with no phones, no emails, just listening to the waves. Not forever, just a little break.
That sounds wonderful. I can almost hear the waves now. For me, I remember a time when work was super stressful. I thought, what if I just packed a bag and traveled somewhere new? Maybe change my name, start fresh. Of course, I didn't actually do it, but the idea felt freeing.
It's interesting, isn't it? Sometimes just imagining it gives us a little relief, like we're not trapped, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, listeners, have you ever had this feeling? Maybe after a big argument or when you're just tired of your routine? Think about it for a second.
And if you have, you're definitely not alone. It's actually a pretty common desire. People all over the world sometimes dream about escaping for a bit.
Let's break it down. What does leaving everything behind and disappearing really mean? Is it about running away, or is it about finding something new?
Great question. Sometimes people want to escape because they feel stuck or unhappy. Other times, they just want a fresh start, or maybe they're looking for adventure. It doesn't always mean running away from problems. Sometimes it's about running towards something better.
That's an important point. There's a difference between escaping and searching, right?
Exactly. Escaping sounds like you're avoiding something, maybe something difficult. Searching means you're looking for something you want or need.
Let's talk about some reasons people might feel this desire. Number 1, stress. Modern life can be really stressful. Jobs, family, bills. Sometimes it all feels like too much.
Yes, and it's not just work stress. It could be relationship problems, health problems, or even just boredom. When life feels heavy, the idea of starting over somewhere else can seem really attractive.
Number 2, curiosity. Some people just want to explore. They want to see new places, meet new people, try new things. Sometimes it's not about escaping, it's about discovering.
Yes, I have a friend who moved to another country, not because she was unhappy, but because she wanted an adventure. She said it changed her life. She learned so much about herself and about the world.
That's brave. I think wanting a change is another big reason. Sometimes people feel like they need a new environment, a new challenge.
Yeah, change can be scary, but it can also be exciting. Starting over can give you a new perspective. You can leave behind old mistakes or things that make you unhappy.
But let's talk about the other side. What are the downsides? What are the challenges of leaving everything behind?
Well, for one thing, it's not easy to just disappear. You have responsibilities, family, friends, work. It can be hard to leave people behind, and sometimes you might feel guilty.
True. And starting over isn't always as easy as it sounds. Imagine moving to a new country where you don't know anyone or maybe don't even speak the language. That can be lonely or even scary.
Yes, and sometimes the problems you're running from don't just disappear. You might find new challenges in your new life, or you might miss your old life more than you expected.
Let's talk about some misconceptions. Some people think that leaving everything behind will solve all their problems. But like you just said, it's not always true. Sometimes the problems are inside us, not just around us.
That's right. There's a saying in English, wherever you go, there you are. It means that you can't really escape from yourself. If you don't deal with your feelings or problems, they might follow you.
But at the same time, taking a break or changing your environment can sometimes help you see things differently. Even a short trip or a new hobby can give you a fresh perspective.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's not about disappearing forever. It's just about getting some distance, like taking a weekend away or unplugging from social media for a while.
Let's imagine a scenario. You've just finished a really hard week at work. You feel exhausted and nothing seems fun anymore. You start to think, what if I just moved to a small town by the sea? How would that feel?
For me, it would feel peaceful and exciting at first. I'd imagine waking up to the sound of the ocean, walking on the beach, meeting new people. But then I'd probably start to miss my family, my friends, even my favorite coffee shop.
Yeah, I get that. Sometimes we only think about what we want to escape, not what we'd be leaving behind, like connections, memories, comfort.
And let's not forget practical things: money, jobs, visas. It's not always possible to just pick up and go.
True, it's easy to forget about the boring, practical stuff, isn't it?
So maybe the real question is, what are you really looking for? Is it freedom, peace, excitement, or just a break from stress?
That's a good challenge for our listeners. If you're feeling this way, try to ask yourself, what do I really need? Maybe you can find a smaller change that helps.
Yeah, like taking a mini vacation or starting a new routine. Sometimes small changes can make a big difference.
Or even just talking to someone about how you feel. Sometimes sharing your thoughts helps you see things more clearly.
Let's talk about some real-life examples. Do you know anyone who actually left everything and started over?
Yes, actually. My cousin Mark moved from England to Australia a few years ago. He was feeling stuck in his job, kind of bored with his daily life. He saved up money, found a job abroad, and just went for it.
Wow, that's brave. How did it work out for him?
At first, he was a bit lonely and missed home, but then he made new friends, started surfing, and really enjoyed the new lifestyle. He says it was the best decision he ever made, but it was also really hard at times.
That's a great story. It shows both sides, the excitement and the challenge. I know someone too. My friend Anna decided to go backpacking around Asia for 6 months. She said she learned so much about herself, but she also realized how much she appreciates her family and her home.
It sounds like leaving everything behind can teach you a lot about what's important to you. Sometimes you need distance to see things more clearly.
Yeah, and sometimes you learn that you don't really need to disappear. Maybe you just need a change in your life or a new goal.
Let's look at some cultural differences. In some cultures, leaving home to find yourself is common. Like in the UK and Australia, it's popular to take a gap year after finishing school, traveling or working abroad before starting university.
That's true. In the US, some people call it finding yourself or taking a sabbatical. But in other cultures, staying close to family and community is more important. Leaving home for a long time might be seen as unusual or even selfish.
Yes. In some Asian cultures, for example, family ties are really strong, and people often live with their parents even into adulthood. The idea of leaving everything behind might seem strange.
But no matter where you're from, everyone needs a break sometimes. Even if you can't leave everything, you can still find little ways to refresh your life.
Exactly. So, listeners, here's a mini challenge for you. Think about one small thing you could change in your daily life to feel a bit freer or happier. Maybe it's trying a new hobby, taking a walk in a new place, or just turning off your phone for a while.
And if you feel comfortable, share your ideas with a friend or write them down in English. It's a great way to practice, and you might inspire someone else.
Let's highlight some key vocabulary from today's episode. Emily, what's the first word?
Sure, the first word is overwhelmed. It means feeling like you have too much to do or handle. For example, I was overwhelmed by all my homework.
Good one. Next is escape. To escape is to get away from something, like he wanted to escape from his busy life.
Another useful word is responsibility. That means something you have to do or take care of, like your job, your family, or your schoolwork.
And let's not forget perspective. That means the way you see or think about something. For example, traveling gave her a new perspective on life.
One more, fresh start. This means starting again, often in a new place or situation. For example, after moving to a new city, he felt like he had a fresh start.
Great list. Actually, the word escape comes from the Latin excapare, which means to get out of a cloak, like taking off a heavy coat. Isn't that interesting?
That's cool. And perspective comes from Latin too. Per means through and spicere means to look. So it's about looking through something or seeing things in a new way.
Now let's check in with our listeners. Have you ever taken a break or made a big change in your life? How did it feel? If you'd like, you can practice writing about it in English.
Or maybe you're thinking about making a change now. Remember, it's okay to dream about new adventures, but it's also important to appreciate the good things you already have.
To wrap up, today we talked about the desire to leave everything behind and disappear. We shared reasons, challenges, and personal stories. We also learned that sometimes what we really need is a fresh perspective or a small change, not a complete escape.
And we hope you learned some new words and ideas. Remember, life can be stressful, but you have the power to make small changes and find new energy right where you are.
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends or leave us a comment. We love hearing from you.
And don't forget to take care of yourself. Maybe treat yourself to a little break today. Until next time, keep learning and keep dreaming.
Bye for now.
Goodbye, everyone.